Yeah, so here we are with game four, Pluto the Brave versus Abyss. Pluto in white, Abyss in black, jumping right into it with opposite corners, and then Pluto going for his patented sort of diagonal corner connection placement.
Yeah, we don't see this often, but it isn't. I mean, it concedes control of the center, but it does make the diagonal connection to the f6 stone immediately, which
It also
is
delays the choice of whether you're going horizontal or vertical.
I. I mean, that's not really a useful property, I don't think.
But okay, I admit it may not be. You are playing the white pieces. You should be making the aggressive moves, not reacting. So yes, I agree.
Interesting. So black stops it on e2, and then white just hugs that stone on d2. So this builds a sort of vertical threat for white, but it's definitely quite delayed. Although eventually the d2 stone can come right, which might be what the intention is, depending on how the game progresses, I suppose. And yeah, Abyss is out of his opening knowledge, and he's probably on his own now.
Well, what does black do here? If d3, then cap e3. If e3, they're building straight up into where white already is.
I mean,
Yeah, like this, like this is a pretty good move against Black's E2.
d1 or no? Ah, you mean white d2? Okay.
Now do you go D5?
Yeah.
Right, it's how does black continue after white d2? And I think black
d1,
might have been thinking the same as I was and saying that it's better to backdoor into an edge crawl, but an edge crawl on a size 6 board historically does not do well. So that
it
doesn't feel like
is
a
it is worth noting that Willem does like to edge scroll in some positions. Willem being the best AI currently available for attack.
I also
Um,
like to do edge crawl in a lot of 6x6 positions. The Simmons Gambit opening as black, which I always find hilarious that I named it that. Thanks, YouTube commenter, for suggesting that name. But that basically is committing to an edge crawl on a 6x6, and not really a great idea to do edge crawl on 6x6. It's very strong. It's probably the best thing you can do on 5x5. 6x6, you have that extra turn, extra space, and it just makes it really difficult to convert. But it is doable in a lot of situations, and that might be what Abyss is going to go for here. I mean, he's certainly good enough to be able to pull off an edge crawl. Plu is also good enough to be able to combat it, but I don't know.
so what do you play here? Do you just play e3 or maybe I don't know. I mean c2 looks wrong.
I mean, you could
Um,
also play at B1.
b1. I
I
mean
think
b1
d3.
doesn't. D3 loses some momentum, I think.
You're already behind in momentum. You're going to have to defend eventually, but d3 leaves you with a central flat. And
But I don't like thinking in about momentum in.
I'm not thinking about momentum. I'm thinking that if you play something like c2, then cap d3 feels very strong.
No, I mean that I don't like thinking about momentum in terms of a binary thing, like the opponent has momentum or I have momentum. I'm looking at how many turns more does it take for me to make a road than my opponent. Um, and I think like that number being one or and two, that's like a big difference there because
I,
that gives the opponent, like if you're 2 behind, then that gives the opponent ability to like respond to your defense and still have momentum, which
Well, I think that's a tactical consideration. I think that depends very heavily on the specifics of the board. There's certainly times where you might be behind by 2 tempo, but with a one particularly well placed capstone and then a move, you've cut that line directly in half, and the consequence is that now you're ahead on tempo. Those positions do arise. So I don't think
yeah.
I don't think that it's. I agree with you. I don't think it is perfectly correct to abstract the idea of tempo to a Boolean of true or false. You have it or you don't. On the other hand, I don't think that there's an absolute metric for it.
Well, for sure, I know that F1 is not quite correct. It does.
I wouldn't ever describe a move as correct or incorrect unless
Well, I mean, it kind of
it's
fights for.
if it's correct, that means that it's winning. It will win and it's guaranteed. It's part of Tinue. If it's incorrect, it misses a road. Those are the only times I would call a move incorrect
Okay,
or correct.
That's fair, but I mean, playing in the corner voluntarily seems like.
There's a reason we put our opponent's pieces in corners.
Yeah. I guess that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's a very defensive move. He's just trying to make it so black can't make a road down there, is what it seems like.
Yeah, do you play F2 as black here, or?
That seems like a decent move, to be honest.
What else can you play?
I guess my opinion about it is that it can only be so wrong.
Right. Fair.
It's a weird way to evaluate a move. But I think, when you have a clock, it's a valid thing to think about when you look at when you're considering a move, saying, if I was wrong, if this isn't the best move, how bad is the mistake?
Yeah. I don't think F1 loses that much conceptually. I mean, it kind of does like prevent black. It delays. It basically delays the game by 1 move in a way, because otherwise black would have filled in at F1 and made the tag threat 1 turn earlier, right?
Well, it also means that black can't make attack threat without capturing, which has some risks.
No, it's still possible for black to make attack threat without capturing. You can go.
Sorry, but you have to take more turns to do it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the time to road hasn't changed if black just puts F2 down. So, but instead goes for D3, which I also briefly looked at, but that gives away momentum to white now.
And a really good position for a capstone.
And that's what I said. That's what I said about.
That is the first capstone drop to this game, and it's white's capstone, which is notable, and it's in a really strong position. And I really like that position for white's capstone. Not to be outdone, black drops their capstone. Now, interesting, Archvenison brings up a point, quoting or paraphrasing Abyss. Abyss says that he thinks that the most interesting thing about TAC is the asymmetry between using your edge piece versus playing for the center of the board.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Oh, and the zero,
so bad.
The net zero move.
That feels so bad, but did Abyss have to do that? I mean, look how strong that white line looks now, suddenly.
Yeah, but look how strong that capstone looks now. Like,
I think
yes, it's a net zero move, but that seems like the best move.
Well, at best it's even, because it's already down a flat by moving like that.
And it's working towards the Tinue. So white
for black?
Yeah. I mean,
Black.
I think
White
there's
would
tons
have
of
to.
time for white to stop
yeah,
attenuating.
there's tons of time for it. But I'm saying it's working towards it. There's the potential there. So, and of course, the one I'm thinking about is the coming over onto E2, bringing that whole stack down, playing at B1. That would be the Tinue. But I mean, so many things that white can do in the meantime to stop that. However,
That's not even Tinue.
I think I would just like to take a moment to point out that that D3 move led to all of this. When black played D3, I had considered that several moves ago and discarded it because if you play D3, then cap E3 is super strong. That's exactly what we saw. The cap on C2, I, I was unsure of it, and then the movement from D2 over forced that cap to have to move over to follow it. So I feel like white gained a lot. I feel like D3 was just a blunder. I don't think that it's a runaway game yet by any means, but going back, I don't think that D3 move was very good.
I think D2 right was too premature anyway. There was no reason to rush with this.
Agreed, but I think
Because black doesn't like want to come to D2 with his capstone anyway.
okay, I think black needs to play at B1 here.
well then in the same way that bringing the cap all the way over to E2 is premature too.
Yeah, I do think so. Does white have momentum here?
So
No.
black
Well,
plays at B1.
Black has momentum now.
Yeah, black has
So
momentum. So
B1
I think black
now.
needs to play at B1.
I
And
think
like you were saying that white is running away right now and things like that.
I didn't
Honestly,
say running away.
well, you were saying was way up and it was looking really strong. I actually felt the opposite. I felt like black seemed way stronger in that position before that capture onto E2, and now I feel like black is even stronger than it was just a moment ago.
yeah, think I think white has some issues here. I'm not sure what he does. I mean, does he have to like wall on B1 or like wall on B2? Because I'm sure Abyss is gonna
Well,
play B1.
it's black's turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abyss is probably gonna play B1 now. I don't expect anything else really.
And the wall needs to drop after he plays at B1.
Yeah.
If he doesn't drop a wall, he loses to Tinue.
What?
He didn't play B1, he dropped a wall instead. I'm so surprised by that move. Because
Yeah.
if he played at B1, he would have forced white to drop a wall, which
Yeah.
works
I
in
agree.
terms of flat count. He can still do it. He can still play
Whoa.
at B1 and do the same thing.
D4? What? I'm not following these players whatsoever. I think there's some. I mean, either
I
I'm
think
missing
they're very
something or
deep. I think they are very deep in a line that they are calculating, and I'm not sure it's the most obvious line, but they seem to be on the same page as each other.
F2 now.
I'm
So not even going for.
I'm really surprised there hasn't been a B1 played.
Yeah. This
Now we see the wall
one.
drop.
Okay.
Now you
One
see B1,
D2.
Yeah, B1's
right?
got to be played here.
I mean, after B1, then E1 left happens and the thread is over, I think. And now it's just a question of whether white can like get enough done with the rest of the board because the capstone is now jailed. It's gonna be close.
From black's perspective, if you capture, I'm not necessarily suggesting this is the right move, but I want to calculate it. If you go 2e2 down, what is it? 8 to 7, and you're tied on flats. Your capstone's useless for the rest of the game, and you're defending. I don't like it. Yeah, you guys were saying black is in a stronger position,
Not
but maybe
anymore.
that's changed in the last couple of turns because I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't think so anymore. I think white is in a stronger position now. Black was in a stronger position, but I don't think they used the position correctly.
Well,
And I
so
and I will point out that I did use the word correct there after calling you out on saying correct.
You know, Simon, I don't know if you can call any tack move correct unless it's leading to a road.
Exactly.
so are we gonna be seeing now e3 minus, perhaps?
No. No. White wants to keep that capstone up close to their actual threat. If they really want to shut things down, they'll drop a wall on B1, and then just
No, I
bring
mean,
those
come
two
on.
walls together.
I don't think you need to invest another flat count into this.
I agree, but I think that you're trapping Black's wall down at the bottom, or Black's capstone down at the bottom, is what you're wanting to do.
Yeah, I like this, I think. D2 minus looks very solid. So, I mean, ostensibly, I guess black can eventually look to smash that. Wait, whoa.
I'm not
Why
following
is
this. The
Black-
wall on B5.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm missing. That wall on B5 is.
What is he going for?
That
I
wall
mean,
on
I guess
B5 feels so bad.
I guess he's just trying to prevent anything from happening for the rest of the. I mean, okay, so here's the thing, right? Black is going to want to draw this game from a tournament perspective. He's not looking to win.
Yes, he will take a
Black's now
draw.
behind, right?
Because Abyss won the previous game, he can take a draw on this game and win the match. Yes.
I'm not sure what White is building towards, though.
I am
I mean,
also not sure.
It looks like White's just biting on a rock. I mean,
Is Black
there's
just going to
no
play
way.
at B1 and make a
Okay.
threat?
Well, if the rest of this game just flats out and they fill the board, Black wins by 1.
Black
So
wins
there's
by
a
one.
very small impetus for White to make something happen.
I really want both Pluto and Abyss to tell me what they're going for in this game and what they're seeing. Why is White playing down with flats at the bottom here? Why is Black dropping walls up at B5? Like, what's going on? I need to know what's in their head right now. Because it could be that they are just playing 2 steps above what we're thinking of, and we're not seeing it, right? Or it could be that we're just absolute geniuses and and are just way better right now looking at this game. But
Well,
I
I will
know.
say that Black is a hard game.
Tech is a hard game. Yes.
Yeah, in the most profound statement I will make today.
I would agree with that profound statement.
Now, do you go e3 minus or e3 left? No other move here, right?
I don't think you want to go E3 left.
No, wait. E3 left just loses the game on the spot, pretty much, right?
Not on the spot. I mean, if he does E3 left, I would want to smash on D1.
Yeah, I think that Smash just wins the game. No,
I don't think
mean,
so.
how does White defend? I mean, at the very
Well,
least,
With
it's like
E1
It-
plus,
White defends by taking
yeah,
F2.
1 E1 plus would defend it and also create attack threat for White.
Or E2, yeah.
yeah, but then you can just go back to E1, I guess.
And then White has the range to throw.
Bring
Throwing the
You could bring the whole
cap
D
down.
stack up to D2.
Anyway, it's a very rough position, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a rough position, but I think if white does E3 left, then the smash ends up working out well for black.
Yeah.
In E3 left, E1 left, E1 plus.
And then
I mean, you could even
3D1 3D1 plus
yeah,
after those moves.
Yeah, that's possible. 2D1 plus is also possible.
It is,
2D1
but
right is also possible.
2D1 from that position, 2D1 plus is not a
Not
threat.
tack, but
Yeah.
it is setting up Tinue. If white plays E6 in that position, then
But
going.
so my thinking was that 3D1 up forces C3 down, I think, and then you then get to capture on E2 for your prisoner. And I'm feeling good
Right.
about that spot. Although I don't know, maybe not, because then the capstone stack on 3 could come down. But at this point, we're 7 or 8 ply in the down that line, and
I'm sure white is thinking about the same thing right now.
yeah.
Because this is like a critical position where you just, have to.
And he's catching up to Abyss in terms of time. They're both down to about the same amount of time, 7:40 on the clock.
I mean, most importantly, I think white can just go E3 minus and avoid the whole mess. Like, you can just play E3 minus in this position and not think about E3 left.
Mm-hmm.
You're not losing that much, conceptually.
That's a good point. Like, what is the stack being on D3 buy you?
It buys you a tougher connection towards A3 eventually, I suppose.
So here's
But
a question.
is that...
What do you do as black if white does 2D1 left 1-1?
I don't know, stare at the position. I mean...
So the reason I say that is because to me, in my head, I think about that sort of move a lot. Because if I'm playing against a bot, I know that the bot will make that sort of move to keep me from getting a Tinue position.
It
I mean,
makes
I guess you
moves
just...
when it makes those moves when they're the only thing left is it's the only thing left to stop a road.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you can just go B2, no?
I've looked
And
at those types of moves, and I really like them for stopping an edge crawl, where you have to throw a wall down along, leave behind your opponent's pieces, that sort of thing. It does a really good job at stopping an edge crawl, at least postponing it until you can drop another wall or something like that. I think
Yeah,
in this case, that might be the best move that he can make here. Black would be tempted to throw all the way over and smash, I guess, but probably not, because that wouldn't be very good for him. I think ultimately that would work out.
I just don't understand.
I don't think that you need to make that move.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you wouldn't just go for the simple E3 minus.
Yeah.
And we do see that on the board. So...
Yeah, E3 minus is better, but I still like that idea.
I mean,
yeah.
It's worth noting that moves like 2D1 left 1-1 exist. And that would be an answer to black's horizontal threat on the bottom row if white needed it. But it is not a free move. It is it's an opportunity cost thing.
Yeah.
You're taking a 0 FCD move. So there has to be...
No, hang on. This is actually a +1 FCD move.
If you go 2D1 left.
Yeah. Because you take B1, you take B1 and you leave the black stone behind on C1, which doesn't actually give black FCD.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
This is why
until they cover the C1 prisoner that you just gave
Yeah,
them.
I mean, eventually they're probably going to be able to use it somehow, but it's far off in the future, and that might just not turn out. Like it often happens in positions like these that the C1 stack eventually gets covered by something anyway. So it might not get used ever. But
Yeah.
um,
But we're looking at now white building off at b3. I think black is their idea behind building up at e3 is to eventually build over at f3 and renew a threat potentially with a smash here, um, to make that happen. However, white can, if they want to, just play at f5 or at e6, and then black won't be able to smash.
now, interestingly enough, there's some Tinue potential going on here. Well, black's kind of one move late to the party though. If black had one more move, then black could play f2 minus, setting up e1 left Tinue, which would be quite devastating.
Yeah, what
Um,
white wants to do here is just drop at f5 to stop that from happening.
yeah, or a3. I mean, either way works. Because you can still drop on e6 or f5 after f2 minus happens to prevent the Tinue.
Yeah,
So
a3
yeah,
works there
a3
too.
is
Yeah.
fine. And yeah, are we gonna see f2 minus to try to set this up, even though it doesn't work? Although, hang on, wait. You can smash now as well. But no,
No, you can't.
You
yeah.
can't smash now. That would lose.
You cannot smash now. You lose immediately.
Ah,
d4
right.
minus happens, and then that's a road.
Okay.
So what happens is you could do c4 minus here,
You could, yeah.
and that would stop both lines, and then you'd be able to do your smashing and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Interesting.
Now, also important note: Pluto down to 5 minutes 10. Abyss just passing 6 minutes. Pretty even on time for both players, which is fascinating to me.
Assuming tournament conditions, who do you prefer here? Because Pluto is in a must-win
On
situation.
the
So
tournament conditions, not discounting the board.
yeah, just like treating this as a 2.5 komi game, I suppose.
So
Because
yeah,
a
so
draw is a
if
win
you
for
were
black.
if you were
Well,
one of the players, which player would you want to be right now? I would say black, just because it seems like more
honestly,
fun.
I would say black just because it's their turn and that makes them win by one. If white had fewer reserves, I'd probably for white. They're almost even. It's black's turn. They have some potential threats. They are technically winning the flat war right now by the thinnest of margins. If they don't take any prisoners, um,
I
I'm
didn't
not
like that one.
sure where I'm not sure where white comes. Yeah, so I'm very, very, very minimally in favor of black in this position.
Um,
Well, I
Capturing
was.
d4 with
I
that, I
haven't
don't
thought
think
about
that
it
was
since
right.
looking at the C4 move.
Yeah, c4 right. I mean,
Because now he's got another attack threat, and he's
yes,
got to bring
yeah,
the second wall over.
I
I mean,
do
I guess
see
he
the
thought of
idea.
that, but
Okay, so this he is able to smash on d1 now.
Yeah, now you
yeah.
can smash.
But he could also bring f2 down first.
Uh, why? If you smash now, it's not like the capstone's coming down.
No, but if you bring f2 down first, then you have
Set up
Tinue.
the Tinue threat, yeah. because then smashing would beat anyway. Do you have enough time for
But
this?
doesn't that just force? I have to think. I have to think like I'm actually in the game.
Well, okay,
Um,
it forces white to respond. That's the point, I guess. I mean, white has to spot that this
Do
is a
you
Tinue
want
threat.
white to respond? Is my question. What do you want? Is white's response something that they don't want to do and you're forcing them to do it? Or is smashing here just better than that outcome? Because you're taking a captive on F1, which is a cost. So if what is white's response, and is it worse for white than if you just smash D1 right now?
I mean, I guess the response is just A2, right?
To
Or
F2
maybe,
down?
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That's what I would do as white. I would drop either a wall, maybe even just a flat at A2 after the F2
Well,
down.
they do it, so we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think something a flat or a wall on A2 is going to be the response here.
Yeah. I mean, a wall is a pretty large investment, but I guess playing A2 is kind of. I mean, black can just slow play it at this point. Black can just go for B2 afterwards, and they still have a Tinue threat.
Or white could do 2E2 left.
Yeah, and okay, interesting. That's attack threat.
That is attack threat for white. And that's what they do.
Okay, this is getting interesting now.
I
This
like
is a
that.
huge investment, though.
I don't know if Abyss is gonna miss that, but
No,
I think there's a
no
lot of people.
way.
Well, no, but I think there's a lot of people in the community that are at a level where they might focus on their own threats and miss the double-edged aspect of that move and think that's a defensive move. I can further my own threats and to miss the fact that there is a threat from white.
And I have done that specifically, set up moves just like this, where I've waited to make my offensive move until my opponent has made it so my offensive move is defending. Specifically in a couple games against Ali, I did that exact thing. He had some setup and I could have made a threat, but I waited until he quote unquote forced me to make that move, and then I made the move and turned it into a road because he missed it thinking it was purely defensive. So this is definitely something that could happen there. If Abyss were lower on time, I could definitely see that being a thing where he could miss that.
Yeah,
But
I've also done that accidentally once or twice.
I've done it way more than once or twice. Accidentally. Okay, we
We're
see the
seeing
wall
this,
toss.
yeah. So this is now, I guess, black buying himself some time. There's no way for white to make a threat on this turn.
And black can't make a Tinue by smashing anymore.
If white plays c5, isn't smashing Tinue anyway? Wait. Well, okay, it's not, but I mean the resulting position doesn't seem too pleasant for white.
I still think I want to defend with white here.
Yeah, I mean if you go for c5, I don't know.
I think you just make the wall move.
Or 3D2 left.
I think the wall move is. I think you've got.
2D2 left. I liked 3D2 left better because you could go for that vertical right away and bring that cap down. I don't think you're going to be able to get anywhere with that horizontal, getting at E2 and E1 and F1 or E2 and F2, making that horizontal happen. I don't think that's going to work. But bringing the whole thing over and protecting all that and going vertical, I think would work a lot better.
You were going to make this. You wanted to make a move eventually. I'm not sure if there's a.
I think black can
Well,
play c5 now.
Yeah, well, so I'm thinking about this from a flat count perspective. I think white's now solidly ahead.
7
I mean,
to
black's up by
8.
1.
Black is
They're
up by 1.
even. They're even?
Black's up 1 by 1.
So he's got 9 with the 2
Oh, and
komi.
it's black's turn. Actually, it's black's turn, so 10 to 8. But
Yeah.
how did I miscount?
Yeah, now it's 10 to
It
8.
should have been +2. It was +2.
So now,
Anyway.
as white, do we play e6 or c5 or d6?
E2.
Yeah, I mean e2 is. I mean it's honestly not bad.
I was looking at E2 for black.
He goes for it. Now we're seeing probably 3-1 plus immediately. I mean, Abyss has 1 minute on the clock, so I don't think he has the luxury of looking for anything better. And I mean, it does sort of start to bring the capstone back into the game.
He's in a tough position, but like in terms of making threats, he's got a lot of it shut down because all of his pieces are down in that bottom basically, and he has no way of making a road in that bottom area. But he can still force. He can try to go for this flat win and just keep dropping flats and then blocking white from making a road. As long as he's able to do that with flats, I think that would work out just fine. And I think he can do that. I think part of him doing that relies on him being able to keep that double stack from spreading on d5.
Which he just got priced into capturing it.
Mm-hmm.
So 2e5 left feels fine. Or
2d4 plus also.
that I am less. I mean, Dean, wouldn't you want to have kept one wall in the middle and have the other one deal with that, with the potential of horizontal threats?
That's
in
what
the
I was
sixth row?
thinking. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I would have wanted to use the e5 wall, but I think that it's not too much worse. Things are still
I
doable.
don't even know. C6 though. Well, C6. I mean,
I think that was the
C6.
right move. C6 or C5, either of those, but I think C6 was more important there.
I liked C5 more, but I guess C6 counters the eventual horizontal forming up top, I guess.
And that's why C6 was a little bit better. And now here you probably want to drop it B6 as black.
B6 to prevent white from dropping B6, yeah.
Yep.
But then white can get, I mean, D4. D4 seems pretty scary, though I guess you can go E4. It's kind of holding.
Yeah, from here, that's what I was saying. It looks like black can hold this with just flat placements if he was able to capture on that D5 stack, which he's done, and he's shut that down, and now he can just continue to place flats and still come out on top.
He's got 30 seconds left, so he has to move fast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, E4 here.
Yeah.
Very important. Oh,
Doesn't do it.
No. Well,
He's going to
this
come
does
down
allow...
with 2e5. And he sets up that diagonal cross section with the walls now to maintain that. So now white won't be able to make any threats along that. They'll have to fight over c6 somehow to get that in order to make a threat in that direction. Black's going to be dropping on e1 or smashing or something like that. Not smashing, obviously, right away, because you'd have to do that for final move because that would lose to a road, but he'll probably drop at e1 on the next turn if he gets the chance. But it's really close, but it looks like
E1?
black
Oh,
is
yeah.
winning.
I mean,
Black can keep up with his time and can get rid of his reserves.
It's
So
also
here's
important
a-
to note that black is fine drawing here too. So if he forces a board fill or flats out or
Yeah.
something like that,
It's
a
true.
draw is a win for him. And this is where black goes e1, and then white does 2d1 left, and then black plays at a6. Right? I think that's the way that works.
yeah, okay, making the threat.
And now the
I
2d1
guess,
left,
yeah.
and then now black
2d1
plays at
left.
a6.
E1. Or F6? What do you... F6?
A-
F6 is
A6.
forward.
a6, yeah,
A6.
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 I mean, a6. This is kind of scary. It feels like it should fall apart for black. I mean, there's pressure from the d6 flat. It's possible for white to play on a2 and then move his capstone onto b2 and then have some pressure on a1 and b1 as well.
It gets...
Wait for
It gets
d1
extreme.
though.
Yeah. I do think it can fall apart if black isn't careful, and black has very little time to be careful. At the same time, it's on white to take the move.
Yeah.
So
white
this
has
is not an
white
abyss
has to be
move.
on top of this.
Okay, here's an interesting take though. Pluto is very good at creating chaos in the endgame. So I kind of feel like if you're Pluto, you're not that worried yet because there are some very juicy flat wall stacks that you can still combat.
Honestly,
And
like wall on F2 feels feasible.
I mean, if you just do b5 plus right now as white, that's a threat, and it's not bad.
I mean, a wall on F2, it doesn't get you enough to actually secure a window by itself. That's the problem. And also your capstone is pinned now. 2 ways.
Now, this is
So-
not a very abyss move that I'm thinking of, but I like the idea of coming up with b2 plus and then coming down with just d2 minus by itself. And going for the move that way, but he won't do that. But now we're seeing white play at a6, setting up for the capture onto b6 to make the horizontal threat.
Well, you say that, Simon, but that's actually anyway. So that would be an interesting attempt.
What's Tinue?
Well, going up and then getting the hard cap on d1.
Yeah, I guess it would be, but I don't think that he'd do that.
It is very sneaky though. Wow.
I don't think it's Tinue, to be honest.
It is because you cannot. Oh wait.
You move the
no,
c1 stack left.
You move it left. I mean, you can still chase it and
then white drops a wall on d1. Yeah, but we're not seeing that. What we're seeing is white playing up, trying to get that horizontal road, black capturing over onto d6, and then now white filled in at c6, and I don't think filling in c6 was the move here. I think filling in at a5 was the move for white.
Nobody really cares about this a5 place.
Well, the a5 is so you can force a capture.
Well, if you place a5, if it's a5, then you can capture d6, and they can't recapture without losing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm just saying that the players do not seem to be bothered by this.
Second
They're
wall
playing
drop.
elsewhere.
And see, that's why a5 needed to come before that capture.
Yeah. 4, 8, 10, 13 versus 13. 13, 13, Black's move. So Black is still winning on flats if they can pull it off.
Yeah, Black is still sort of fine, but it
Yeah,
feels
now it's
like they're on the edge of.
14-13.
And they just can't play at D6.
Yeah. But it still constantly feels like they're on the edge of just dying. Like,
Well, the only way this position opens up and somebody makes a road now is if there's a bunch of captures.
Yep.
yeah, but I mean, you can go for like B4, A2, and then a capstone B2, and then A2 minus is anyway, so.
So, okay, but it's on white to make the move because Black's winning on flats.
Yeah.
They win if there's a draw and a board fill. So white has to make this happen.
But I mean,
white can't just fill in.
Yeah, the position almost plays itself though, so I don't know.
Yeah, and now, well, Pluto is down below a minute on the clock now. And
yeah, this is going to be chaos now.
Yeah, Pluto has to make chaos happen here.
Also,
or it's just a slow loss.
Just a side note, Black has managed to construct a mega citadel.
They both
3
have
by
less than 30
3
seconds now.
Yeah.
Okay, this is attack threat now by removing the wall to the side. I'm not sure I love it.
I mean,
it feels like
it's a
Black can
desperation
just play
move.
C1.
And he needs to make those.
Black can just play C1 though, so. And they do. I mean, in my opinion, you have to go for like B4, A2.
White plays A2.
C2 left? 3 C2 left?
No, so I think White plays A2, and then
but then
A2 minus.
Yeah, 8, but A2, 3, then they want to follow up with 3C2 left, then they want to play A2 minus.
Yeah, but that still, yeah, okay, A2 is played. I don't think 3C1 left was necessary for this sequence, right?
No, A2 minus works right here.
A2 minus works right here if Black does nothing. E6 down doesn't change anything, does it?
But it's opening up. I don't know why that happened. Why that move was made.
I think A2 down was Tinue? No, not quite.
No. Oh,
E4 has a wall and it could have thrown.
You see what Black was doing with those captures? He was building up. Oh no, that doesn't work because this is a citadel here.
Yeah.
But he's still.
This is winning for White. This is winning for White.
This is winning for White. If A2 down, then the wall on E4 has to get thrown left.
Yeah, White needs to just do A2 down,
and then White just spreads left or spreads right and wins.
Yeah, White wins with A2 down. But he's not seeing it, and he's got 2 flats left.
And he's got 10 seconds.
He's got to make a move.
He's under such time pressure. This is not a throw threat though.
It's a threat right now. It's just a placement.
It is a placement threat, but you can just go 45 plus again.
He also ruined his citadel.
It's still 14-14.
Okay, he chooses to go this way, but
the citadel's gone.
I mean A2 minus. I mean. Oh
no! No, Pluto.
I think this is all because of time pressure.
I agree.
I mean,
Pluto can still do C2 left here. It's not great because then it's not.
I think that's what he was trying to do. I think he's trying to set up a hard cap on B2.
Yeah, and he didn't need to. He just needed to do A2 minus. But time pressure is brutal. Now Abyss is down to 10 seconds. He's counting frantically.
Yeah, I imagine they sound like Rain Man right now. I always do it. When time is this low, I always sound like Rain Man.
I don't get this reference.
It's a movie where there's an autistic person who counts cards And so it's like when I get down to this, you just hear me being like 4-3,
This is
2-9, 14. And like I just muttering to myself numbers as I try to furiously count.
so we're seeing some more stuff happening now.
It's hard to keep track. I'm going to count black's flats. 13 for black. I don't know how many anymore.
This is why you sound like Rain Man all the time.
Exactly.
At the end.
Yeah.
One of my streams, I remember, it was just me counting for like
I mean,
40
black
minutes.
still has 13 points. Black still has 13 points. White currently has. Stop moving so fast.
They're
11?
both under 1 minute.
I think they have 11.
I think they have 11 right now.
Wait,
yeah,
but now-
they have
wait.
too many. White has too many things on. All in that B2 stack. 5 seconds.
Yeah, now okay, wait. Does that not lose to a road? No, okay,
No, it
it
doesn't.
doesn't.
Not quite.
Oh my goodness. What is what?
But now that wall is too fat to fully make use of this, I think, right?
You can still
it's-
leave. You have to leave behind the bottom black flat.
Yeah, if you left behind 2 flats on C6, that might have been better. Oh, skewered the walls on the right.
You have time to do that?
But wait, black. Wait, oh no, that
Black should have
wait.
jumped over and captured B2.
Didn't
White.
Black's own? He should have just played A4, right?
Yeah,
To stop the crush.
No, I mean the crush was stopped anyway. The
I can't
crush
think
was
this
not,
fast.
The crush was not possible because the throw would have happened. Sorry, the spread left anyway. So that was a
what I
road,
meant.
so that was not possible. Okay,
Now-
wait.
Well, but that's
4, 8.
there's only 4
9.
blacks on E3 that wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah, but the capstone was on D2, so it
White
was
only
enough.
has 1 reserve left. He can't
Oh.
place a flat.
Yeah, can no longer place a flat. Abyss is down to 5 seconds now, and there is attack threat, and he takes on B4. White has 1 flat. Wait, 4, 8, 10, 4, 8. White still cannot take this. This is a draw.
If he
It's a
placed a flat, it
Draw
would be
for
a draw.
White if he places and he'll lose the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he cannot place this. And where does he get more stuff? I guess he has to smash E4.
Yeah, if he doesn't smash, he's got no way to make flat count.
Yeah, he's got to smash
Yeah.
E4. That threatens the B4 stack.
Let's hope he didn't miscount in the chaos. Okay, he does smash. So this is a -1 move. So now White needs to find how many flats? Wait, so the -1.
Oh
move,
no,
so
but he can spread down and
Yeah, he can
make
spread
like
down
a
for a
+6 move.
spreading down is a +5.
You
This
just-
was
+5.
-1.
Oh,
White
time!
wins.
And time!
By
Oh no,
time.
the time! So
Wow.
Abyss
Oh, I
loses
can't.
on time. Pluto the Brave wins game 4. That means that they have to do the tiebreak shenanigans, which we're probably not going to do right now. By probably, I mean I will not stand for it. We'll have to reschedule for that or something. Oh my goodness, that was a crazy end game. You were right, by the way, about Pluto creating chaos in the end. That was absolute chaos, and it worked out in his favor. Wow. And he did have that Tinue earlier that he missed and still managed to win with the chaos.
Well, he lost to time. I mean, he won to time, but I think it was winning in 2 place anyway.
Oh,
I
wow.
Although,
I
I think White had the
Looking at-
win.
looking at this position again, White does not have attack threat right now, so
White
Black
does not
could-
have attack threat, and
Black
The
would have
wall
moved the
on
whole stack
E4
onto E3, I think. The whole capstone stack.
I think you move the whole capstone stack onto E3, but then
White spreads left.
Black can't make use of that stack as attack threat.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
just crushes B4.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happens after that.
I think just White wins, yeah.
Probably that's
I mean,
probably what
I think.
happens.
I mean, you have
I'd have
5
to.
flats
Yeah,
in
because
the
black
before
can't
stack, right?
end the game on his own terms. So
Yeah.
then, yeah, white should win that. Crazy game.
Yeah, very crazy. Shame it ended on time, but
Anyway, that is all for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC, especially the TAC Discord server, which is where you can find all sorts of resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be on playtac.com or over on the Discord server playing asynchronously. You can also check out my other videos on YouTube. Lots and lots of things up there. Lots of tournament commentary and the strategy guides like TAC University are up there as well. So check that out. And until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.